What's up, everybody? It's KBR Sports, the best sports talk show of your 24-hour day. I'm your host, Brendan Avin, with my two co-hosts. Starting to my right.
You messed it up.
How am I?
You got to do it for the laugh first.
Call it. Say your name, man. You know what? No, he's calling. He's not getting no introduction.
Oh, come
Rashad,
on.
you can introduce
Yo, what's up?
yourself.
You already know who it is. It's Rashad back in the building.
And we got a guest with us today, Mr. Rudy Henderson. Let's give it up for Rudy. Star from the Old Dominion University, student. Rudy, give a little shout out to the peoples. Say your piece to the people before we get started.
Get ready for some sports knowledge.
I like it.
There will be shout-outs throughout the show. I'm just saying.
No,
Shout out
no,
to
you're
the
not allowed
people.
anymore.
That's all
Because
I'm saying.
I toss it to you
So
first,
you
and then
wanna-
you wanna. That's
Come
like
on.
throwing an alley oop and then saying no. You take it back.
You
Like,
block
Bro,
it.
come on.
Yeah, that's like you block it back
You
to
know
your
you
own
gotta
man.
You got to send it to your left.
No.
and to the right. How you gonna do
Anyways, y'all, we're gonna be talking a lot of sports today. We're gonna be starting out with college football, going to NFL. We're gonna be going all over the place. But starting off with college football, we're gonna talk about ODU and NC State, the game this upcoming weekend. Both teams are coming off wins. ODU after playing Norfolk State, coming off a 24-10 win. Very convincing. ODU handled their business. Khalid, we'll start off with you. What did you think about how ODU looked last weekend and how they're going to carry that into this weekend against NC State?
I like their rushing offense. They was looking pretty nice there. Passing, not too much. Defense, they need to do better. They need to do a whole lot better.
What do you think specifically they need to work on?
Definitely need to work on that line. Definitely need to watch like the block. Block y'all men. Like, because the QB came through the middle so many times in that Norfolk State game.
Mhm.
Like every time I look, because I was at the game, I was behind the field goal post. I'd look and see 7 getting down the field.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, y'all gotta do better. So that defense definitely got to step up, especially against NC State.
Yeah. All right, Rashad, what about you? What did you think?
Me being at work and everything, I didn't really get the luxury going to the game. So, from what I do know, Ray Lowry doing his thing right now. Y'all agree, right? He doing his thing, leading the nation in rushing yards, leading in touchdowns. Hey, he doing his thing right now. But we all see we're past the Taylor Heineke era, as clearly known. But Schuler Bentley,
Bring in the Bentley.
bringing the I can't say too much because he's a freshman. You know what I'm saying? You're playing FBS football as a freshman.
Yeah, it's
You
the
know.
second game.
Yeah, second game of the season. He's coming off behind like Taylor Heineke. Like they're trying to make him live the expectations he had.
Vikings backup, Taylor. let's throw that in there.
Like he's on the NFL team now. Like they want this freshman to come in and do what he did, but he's not the same type of player he is. He's more of a pocket passer player. Not really getting out of holes. Like for his games, he's averaged, I want to say 4 carries for 4 yards in the first game, rushing, and then I think it was like 3 for -3 or something like that in the second game, something like that. Nothing good. It's
That
sad.
means it's sad.
Nothing. No, he's not making his moves like Taylor Heineke did, extending the play a little bit longer. He's throwing the ball away. Like if there's nothing open, he's not trying to like make him play with his feet. He's trying to just throw the ball away. Live for the next down.
He's only completing 55% of his attempts.
See, with that though, I think again, it's a second game. You're gonna hit your stride and whatnot as the season goes on. I don't know if this is the game where he'll get to hit his stride though. This is a totally different animal that ODU has to go against, and I don't know if he'll hit his stride. I think they just need to keep feeding Ray the ball, even though NC State will probably know that's what they're gonna do. Maybe working some play action.
And that rush defense is gonna be on point. They're gonna shut
Well,
you
that's one thing ODU itself needs to work on is having a great rush defense. Like you were saying, Khalid, how Greg Hankerson he would just run it up the middle every single time whenever things just broke down, and there'd be nobody there in cover. The line wouldn't really have pressure on them. So their rush defense needs to improve. And their secondary, sometimes there were lapses in the secondary, and the Norfolk State receivers just couldn't capitalize. And that's not going to happen against NC State. NC State is actually going to capitalize on all those ODU lapses in the secondary or the miscommunications, where maybe they're supposed to run cover 2 and they're running like somebody's thinking, oh, we're doing cover 3. So, safety's not where he's supposed to be or something like that. There's so many things that, so many open holes, so many like missed coverages. But then, Norfolk State didn't capitalize on it, but NC State will. And NC State also has a really good running back in Matthew Days, who, they like to ground and pound. So, ODU's rush defense got to be on. They got to be getting into the backfield, get that initial push off, and actually, make it tough on them. Make it like what they want to do to us. They want to neutralize Ray Lowry from us. We want to neutralize Matthew Days from them. Take away like one half of their offense. Because if you take away half a team's offense, they become really predictable. You know what I'm saying? It's like kind of like what happened this past Monday night. Once Adrian Peterson wasn't effective, and the Vikings started falling behind, everybody knew, Teddy Bridgewater was about to start letting it rip. So it became pretty easy to stop the offense. But what do you guys think that what are the three main keys that you guys would say ODU needs to do in order to come away with a win this Saturday? What do you think, Rudy? Start off with you.
First of all, I think they need to establish the run with Ray Lowry. Last year, he had 71 yards at about 5 yards per carry.
Mm-hmm.
So they need to go back to that. We know NC State's going to expect them to run the ball, work some play action off of that to give Schuler Bentley a little bit more time back there, because he's, again, third game. He's not going to be able to process that defense as fast as he needs to. The play action might be able to open that up for him.
Yeah.
The other two keys are mainly, I'm going to put this game on the front seven of ODU, point blank period. Last year, Jacoby Brissett, quarterback for NC State, went 21 for 29 with 288 yards. You can't get shredded like that.
Yeah.
You have to put some sort of pressure on him, get him off his spot. He's going to be athletic. He's bigger than the guy we played last week, Hankerson from Norfolk State.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get loose. They have to contain him, be able to get him off his spots, and just play good defense on the run. Because last year they had almost 500 yards on us, and you're not going to win very many games doing that. And then third would be create turnovers.
Yeah.
You're not going to really be able to score that much with a younger quarterback going against an ACC team. So you're going to need to get him the ball as much and as often as possible. So that's what I think they need to do to try and get a win this weekend.
All right. How about you, Khalid?
Defense. Please bring that rush defense. Stop them. Contain that QB. I do not want to see this man run through the field like Norfolk State. Like every time I seen that man get the ball, I was like, yeah, he's gonna run through the middle. And y'all gotta stop that. Y'all gotta stop that. Like contain him. Also, definitely work on that play action too, because we can't depend on Ray Lowry for all our offensive presence.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to establish some offense on the other side. Pretty much that's basically it.
All right. How about you, Rashad?
We got to continue giving Ray Lowry the ball. That's number one. He's doing his thing. Don't stop what's working. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Yeah. Something like that. Schuler Bentley needs to get more comfortable. This is third game in now. He's played till you see what it's like. He has Ray Lowry giving him time in the pocket now. Like you said, play action will be great because the way he's running, all focus is going to be on him. Gives him time to get more comfortable in the pocket, more time to hit more passes. Because a lot of teams are sending, more than what a normal team would. It's like for Taylor Heineke, they're sending a lot more than they would for Taylor Heineke. And not necessarily always blitzing, but there's always at least one more down person coming after him, which is making him more uncomfortable in the pocket. But with play action, it's going to leave him more space, more time to sit there and show why he was, a 4-star recruit from South Carolina.
Yeah.
So, and then also defense need to pick it up, start on the line. DNs need to get at it more. D-line tackles need to get at it more. Make sure it don't even have to get to the linebackers. Stop it in the backfield.
Yeah.
Pick up the intensity on defense, create turnovers. You should pull out this win.
I like it.
What about you, man? What do you think?
I pretty much agree with y'all. Everybody we all say you gotta get Ray the ball. Get Ray going. It ain't going good if it ain't Ray's way. So you gotta get Ray the ball, get him terrorizing, get the ground and pound, control the tempo of the game. You know what I'm saying? Have NC State's defenders having their hands and their knees, have them tired. Your offense will be out there so long. When your defense comes in, they'll be fresh. They can get into the backfield easily because they won't be gassed from having to keep consistent 3 and outs. Then after that, I say you neutralize Matthew Days on the other end of the ball. Pretty much it goes hand in hand with the defense because he's their running back. And he's also a good receiving option for them. And Jermichael Ramos, he's another receiver that Jacoby tends to go to a lot. So you neutralize both of them. The corners play up on him, get physical with him, give him issues. And then I say pretty much the Schuler just has a great game, just try to minimize that, just try not to turn the ball over, and, capitalize on all the mismatches that come with Ray Lowry being aggressive on the ground. But staying in college football, do y'all see what happened with the Florida coach Jim McElwain, coming after his player Kelvin Taylor on the sidelines for unsportsmanlike conduct penalty pretty much got for scoring a touchdown. He celebrated. He did the little throat cut, and apparently he preaches to his players. You shouldn't showboat and everything like that. But he lost his, he went off on this kid, came after him in front of everybody on live television. So it became a big deal. So do y'all believe it was right or wrong? Rashad, I'll start out with you.
This stuff happens all the time. I mean, only because it was on TV, naturally saw that it's such a big deal. I mean, he's yelling at his player. I mean, a lot of coaches yell at their players. A lot of people don't see it, but he happened to get caught doing it. So I mean, I don't think it's wrong. I mean, one, he didn't put his hands on him. That's number one thing. He just got in his face, yelled at him. I mean, we've seen coaches do that in the NFL. I mean, all up in their face, and even grabbing the face mask or nothing, just sitting there yelling at them. But we never said anything. Mm-hmm. But since he's a student our age, playing college football and everything like that, and understand they're trying to morally be right. Mm-hmm. For him to get in his face like that, I understand why he did it. But I mean, it's all about perception. How would you take it? Because I mean, even back in Iowa high school, I had my coach in my face yelling at me. But I mean, it just happens. It's just when they start grabbing you or hitting you, pushing you, that's when the problem occurs.
All right, so I'll ask you a question. So if you're Kelvin Taylor's father, who was a former NFL player, and you're seeing a coach do that to your son on the sideline, would you be like, hey, why can't you just take him aside and tell him afterwards that what he was doing was wrong, instead of making him a spectacle on live television in front of everybody else, and then making him look like a joke in front of his teammates?
See, that's I'm gonna go back to if I was his father, of course you would want him to not pull him to the side and talk to him about it. Mm-hmm. But back when I was in high school, I was playing outside linebacker, mm-hmm. and it was basically a 7-on-7, mm-hmm. and I had a blown coverage, and the dude was in deep in the end zone by himself, mm-hmm. but quarterback overthrew him. So my dad was in the stands, coach yelling at me, and I was saying my dad didn't say nothing while he was yelling at me, but then he grabbed my face mask. That's when my dad got up and said something. Mm-hmm. So he was like, it's fine if he yells at you. I mean, if you make a mistake, he yells at you. Mm-hmm. But when he touches you, that's when I feel mm-hmm. it's past the line. Okay. But I mean, for him to yell at you, I mean, even though you play for a big name school, it's gonna be seen. So yeah, it just happens.
All right. So how do y'all two feel about it?
I seen the 30-second video with the actual audio. Mm-hmm. That video doesn't pass FCC standards. I'm just saying. I mean, yeah, you have to definitely yell at your your team when they don't do what they've been told to do, mm-hmm. or when they do something that they know they're not supposed to, because that's what being a coach is. Yeah, he didn't touch him at all. He didn't. He just got in his face, yelled at him. He did what a coach was supposed to do. He just didn't have to drop F-bomb after F-bomb after F-bomb.
I mean, plenty of coaches cuss though.
Yeah, but they caught that on camera.
A lot of stuff's caught on camera. It's just not nationally known. NFL, there's a lot of stuff caught on camera for the NFL. I mean, but because it's not a student, because it's someone who's actually being professionally paid to do that, they don't bring it up as big as it is.
But yeah, that's because he is a student.
Yeah, it's that affects a lot. Mm-hmm. He's not a paid player and all this stuff like that. He's just a college student playing football, trying to make it to the league. But when you get to the league, it's not really gonna be like. It's not yeah.
I mean, I think the only crime here was the fact that it got caught on camera. I played college football. Hope to play college football again. We get yelled at way worse than that in practice, and it's mm-hmm. just not caught on camera and whatnot. I honestly don't see anything wrong with it. To answer your question about the father, as long as he didn't touch my son, which he didn't, exactly. I don't really care, because as far as it being a spectacle on national television, my son made himself a spectacle on national television when he did the cutthroat. Coaches preach, don't do self-inflicted injuries as far as penalties and whatnot. And for you to go out there and do that, you're gonna get punished. With every bad action comes some form of punishment. So I don't see anything wrong with this. This isn't like the Rutgers basketball coach a couple years back.
That
was bad.
This
that
is
was
a
bad.
coach getting in someone's butt because they did something wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, players get after each other that bad. That's just not caught on camera. So
all right. So what would you say to the fact? So do you think it's right that he did it out there on live television, or he didn't wait till after the game to do it?
Well, when the problem happens, especially penalties like that, you have to address it right then. Okay. It's not one of those things that now
it's just wishy-washy. It was seen on TV.
Exactly, because the only problem here is the fact that it was on TV in the nation's perception. If it was never on TV, we wouldn't be talking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
But do you think that he could have handled it by saying, "Hey, we'll talk about that after the game," so that a player knows right then and there that he did something wrong.
I mean,
he did something wrong. So and then
that.
he gets at him after the game instead of in the public's eye in front of everybody to see. You don't think he could have done it another way?
I mean, it could have been done multiple other ways. Like you said, he could have brought him aside. He could have talked to him at halftime. He could have talked to him after the game. He could have done any of those. But it also depends on what type of perception that coach is trying to surround himself with. Is he trying to be a hard-nosed coach? Is he trying to be a coach that doesn't let stuff like that fly? You have to address that at that moment. And again, there's various cameras all over the field. The fact that he could have known that one specific camera was on him is highly unlikely. So I don't think he was trying to embarrass the kid on national television, because there's, let's say, 8 to 10 cameras that the TV could be watching at any time, and it just happened to be on him.
All right, so then I got another question for you. So do you think he still does that if he knows he's getting recorded on camera?
I think so. I think so. Because it's heat of the moment.
Yeah,
it's heat of the moment.
The thing is, if he's doing this on national television without him knowing that he's being recorded, he does this in practice too. So, I mean, he's gonna keep on doing it because he's trying to coach them, and he's trying to enforce himself as that hard-nosed coach. So,
but how do you know he does it in practice?
Because he does it. He did it in the game.
No, but like Rashad said, it's a heat of the moment thing.
Yeah,
you might act one way. The fact that he got the penalty in practice, you're not getting penalties. In practice, you're not. You're in that heat of the moment. You're not having that exact heat of the moment. He's mad because in practice he told they've coached the whole time. Don't do this. Don't do celebratory type stuff like this and draw a penalty. So how do you know that he does this in practice as a regular norm?
But he got it.
Well, in practice, you might not get penalties, but in practice, you still mess up.
No, you still mess up, but I'm saying you don't get a penalty like that. Like, he reacted that way, and but it was a cause and effect because of the penalty that he got from doing the throat slice. He reacted that way, but in practice, I'm pretty much guaranteeing that same situation has never happened. Pretty much, I'm pretty much, or he's probably already preached to them. You know what? We're not doing this. And then when he did it in the game, which drew the penalty, which hurt his team. That's when he lost his wig. So I'm saying if you feel like if he knew the cameras were there, how do you know that he wouldn't have done it?
Well, what Rashad said, he probably would have done it because it's heat of the moment. And I agree with you, that scenario won't come up in practice. But I've seen offensive linemen get reprimanded worse than that for missing a block in practice. So we can't assume that he doesn't do this in practice just because of this one situation doesn't occur. He could yell at his players 24/7 in practice. It might be a normal thing for them. It was just that we caught it on camera.
Exactly.
The running back looked like he was about to cry or something. I don't know what was going on with him, but I think it's probably a normal thing around college football period, around football period. People get yelled at in high school. There are probably kids getting yelled at in Pop Warner in Florida and Texas somewhere.
I dropped the pass and got yelled at.
You've been called all sorts of scallywags out there in practice, man. This isn't that big of a deal. This is just us as a society being a little bit more sensitive than we need to be about something because we saw it. It's sort of like how I felt about the whole bounty situation a couple of years back. Because they got caught, people are going to say something about it, but it probably happens a lot more than it does.
Well, I understand y'all premise. I'm just asking y'all questions to be devil's advocate. I mean, I gotta be some kind of opposition.
Because I was about to say, you personally have experienced this back when we were
I know.
With our coach.
Yeah, I know. I'm just flipping it from the other script, from the people's perspective that are saying, well, he might not do this all the time. He might not say, like you said, like when an offensive